I'm about to talk about everybody's favorite topic, according to the polls, and that's the economy. Yeah, somehow the economy is like the most important issue to voters, but every time that I talk about it, nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to click on these videos because who cares about the economy? I mean, yeah, it's all performative, guys. Like, I swear to God, the ones actually being hurt are the ones that are somehow the quietest about this, but the ones that are upper middle class and, oh my God, they constantly see that they're paying a little bit more, but they're also making a little bit more, making a little bit more. It's insane how everybody has pretty much gaslit each other, where they're just like, well, the economy's bad. You're doing bad. And even the people that are doing really poorly are even like, yeah, I was better off than I was 4 years ago. But yeah, keep telling me how bad I'm doing. Well, and I know that I'm speaking generally. Yes, certain situations are probably worse. But also, can we start talking about personal finance and how, just because somebody else is doing bad doesn't mean that that's necessarily the government's fault. That's not our fault either. Sometimes personal responsibility is a thing where, I'm sorry, if you just kind of suck at managing your funds, if you suck at investing, if you suck at even making sure that you're getting all of your money, then that's on you. I'm sorry. Personal responsibility is a thing in this country that we need to start taking seriously, or we need to start teaching our electorate how the fucking economy actually works. This weird thing that would probably be good for, the public school systems. And it's one of the main things that I came out of high school complaining about. It's like, yeah, you guys taught me all of this bullshit that I'm never going to retain. I'm never going to go back and use. But somehow you barely managed to teach me how to balance my checkbook. And the only reason that I did learn that was because I took home ec as an elective. I was one of 2 guys in that entire class. But learn how to sew some pants and make some mac and cheese and balance my checkbook and take care of my finances. So, I think that home economics should be literally one of the most important classes, but somehow it's a fucking elective. I will never understand that. So this brings me to the news from the past 2 days where interest rates have been cut by the Fed, which we all kind of saw it coming. We knew it was on its way, specifically because the markets have cooled. Inflation has kind of plateaued, despite what the Republicans are saying about it, or the mainstream media for that matter. Like, it's insane. Here, check this out. So just real quick, if you can see on the side here, the markets all green. And that's specifically that's happening because of them lowering the interest rates. And there's a lot of speculation on where people are going to start investing and just where people are going to start spending their money. So isn't that weird how when the interest rates come down and we as the American people can start affording goods again and spending more money, how all these companies start anticipating making more money? It's almost like it's a good thing where we actually spend the money instead of giving it to them. Because I know that this has gone around on other channels, but it needs to be said over and over again. The fact is, when these guys make their money, they make their billions. They don't spend it. They don't invest it in our economy. They take it offshore and they just let it sit there. That's the problem. And somehow they have gaslit a good portion of you, the viewers. Well, maybe. Most of you are probably thinking I'm a shitlib that you just don't even want to fucking listen to anymore, which, hey, you know what? Whatever. Peace. Go ahead and go back to whatever fucking trailer or whatever small house or apartment or cardboard box for that matter that you crawled out of and go vote for Trump because he's got your best interests at heart. Yeah, he's really working for you, the lower class white American, because that's also what it is because you're playing your race politics into it too, where you're the DEI, they're trying to give all these other people money. What about these other government entitlements? I want them, but don't give it to the other person. Like, it's so weird how you have gaslit the American people so badly that these people they'll watch the conveyor belt at the grocery store and then they'll see an EBT card and immediately freak out. Sometimes they will cause a scene. I've even seen the TikToks about it where it's like they get their camera out and immediately it becomes fucking content. That is fucked up. If you are making less than $1 million even, that's fucked up. You are fundamentally fucked in the head if you think that attacking anybody that's making a similar amount of money to you is going to help you in any way. Like, so your jealousy is just going to come out? And why is it always the jealousy of these people, but not like the Donald Trumps, the billionaires? It's never that. It's always your neighbor. It's always somebody else. It's ridiculous. But either way, let's learn about the Fed cut, shall we? Because it's the most interesting topic ever. All right. The Federal Reserve's move to slash interest rates reverberated across the 2024 presidential race. Oh, yeah, it's kind of funny. I kind of think that Donald Trump really was just seething over this moment because everybody knew it was coming. I mean, we knew this was coming back in July when they started talking about inflation easing. And then once the economic reports came out in August, we were kind of proven right. And then go back just a month, like go back to August 6th. I'm pretty sure that was when people started reporting on this. And just look at how they were talking about, well, the Fed's going to cut interest rates. We're just waiting. And I remember I think that I have the 6th in my head specifically because I started pinning September 6th as the day that the interest rates were going to go down, which if you're an average American who has friends that are looking for homes, who have friends that are looking to, refinance their car. This guy. Yeah. I'm the friend actually with the refinancing of the car. It's just like, my interest rate kind of sucks. Got it during COVID, so it was not the best purchase, but it was needed. But yeah, I think that this is ridiculous. Anytime that they start doing this where they're like, yeah, but this is my favorite line in this, okay? So I'll just go back and read the whole thing. The Federal Reserve's move to it's that pesky S right here. The Federal Reserve's move to slash interest rates reverberated across the 2024 races. Democrat Kamala Harris hailed the move as a boon for the middle-class families. Us, the majority of the country, while Republican Donald Trump suggested it may have been politically motivated. You're telling me that they did something that was politically motivated in politics? No way! What? Oh my God. Again, how gaslit are you that you're watching a fucking presidential election and then you take Donald Trump going, they're being political. They're just being political. I'm not political. I'm just like you. I'm one of you. I'm just like one of the normal guys. If you are still buying into that, what the fuck? How? What exactly can you just name in the comments the one policy that made your life significantly better during the Trump administration? And it needs to be a policy. I'm talking an actual written down policy that he signed that made your life objectively better. And do the research on that policy. You might find that it came from a different administration. Because, yeah, he kind of rode a wave, but whatever. We just kind of forget about that. All right, here's the fun part. The heated rhetoric over the Fed's decision to lower its benchmark interest rate by 0.5 percentage point, which to the average American, I mean, I'm sure that if you're dumb like me, or you were just like, that doesn't seem like that much. But then you look at the, overall, like where that's applied to and the numbers it's applied to, you're like, oh, it does. It really does. Like that's the actual trickle down economics. Like, okay. All right. Well, the heated rhetoric over the Fed's decision to lower its benchmark interest rate by 0.5 percentage point highlighted how the central bank, an independent institution whose chair, Jerome Powell, has pledged not to allow political pressure to influence decision-making, even though, I mean, everybody's going to, even if this wasn't Donald Trump, whoever would be running would have used this to be like, they're making it part. How dare they? could be swaying the momentum of the 2024 presidential race just 7 weeks ahead of the election. The dueling narratives also underscore the extent to which the economy and interest rates have rapidly become a focal point of the race. Both parties seeking to use the move to bolster their election standings. No kidding. Oh, wow. Weird. We're going to sit there and shame for that? I mean, we're going to shame politicians for playing politics again? Like, just giving Donald Trump, handing him the narrative, just being like, here you go, buddy. Here, why don't you take this and run with it? And we'll totally we'll totally print it for you. And we'll do it without any hint of criticism. Cool. Trump speaking at a campaign event at a bar in Manhattan, man's never drank, okay, framed the cut as a very unusual number. Bad for it's bad. It's totally bad. I guess it shows the economy is very bad. To cut it by that much, assuming that they're just playing politics. Yeah, again, politicians playing politics. Weird. It's almost like you should start doing that because, that's what this is. I hate people that they just applied politics and they're just like, I never want to be involved unless it's somebody like me or somebody that talks like me. Fucking idiots. Jesus Christ. Yeah, sorry. This one really does kind of piss me off about just how uneducated the electorate is. It's fucking stupid. Oh my God. The economy would be very bad. To blame politics, one or the other. But it was a big cut. Yeah, it was a big cut. That's good for us. Look at the markets and then tell me again how this is bad for the average American. No, this was bad for you. This was bad for your buddies. This was bad for anybody that can't rape us anymore or rake us over the coals. Sorry. I forgot I'm on YouTube. I got to use the R word. It's so stupid. That too it's like, okay, so we're going to take these horrendous actions and we're just going to make it so you have to say grape. What? You guys are just changing language. What? This is so stupid. Anyway, I digress, and I'll do a whole video on that frickin' stupid topic. Harris, in a statement, cast the decision as particularly welcome news for Americans who have borne the brunt of high prices. Yeah. Her statement betrayed the extent to which inflation... Fucking Bloomberg. Okay. Has it, Bloomberg, or have you betrayed the rate to which inflation has affected the average American household specifically within the last year? It's almost like you're running with the high from the high from January. I'll even give you, because the high was 7%. It was 7% in 2022. There's no denying this. And any leftist or anybody that's in the leftist commentary sphere that is trying to say that inflation was never bad, they're fucking stupid. I don't understand where what? No. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to give you guys the facts behind what... got a little spitty there. But I'm trying to give you the facts behind what's actually happening because this affects all of us. I mean, I don't make that much money. So this helps. This helps a lot, And anytime that they're talking about, well, this is bad. This is totally bad for Republicans. Yes. Think of who they elect... Who is voting and pushing the agenda of the Republican Party? Who are they trying to actually fund? Not you. I mean, hell, every time they get the chance, they talk about cutting Medicaid and Medicare. They always talk about cutting entitlements. It's the first thing they talk about. Notice how they ran up the deficit, but then all of a sudden they want to start talking about the deficit. I think they started doing that with this specifically too, because they were talking about oh, well, they got all these big plans. Well, it's going to cost the American taxpayers a lot of money. Again, you guys sit here making black budgets for the Pentagon, and then you guys... all of a sudden, you're just like, well, we're that $7 billion or $1 trillion come added onto the deficit because we're at 37 point something trillion dollars now, and the average American is just like, well, what if we default? Yeah, because that's how it works. I know prices are still high for too many middle class and working families, and my top priority as president will be to lower the cost of everyday needs like healthcare, housing, and groceries. Oh, healthcare. Actually, today there was a group of Republicans that just came out and said that they want to do the repeal and replace again for Obamacare, because they have a better plan for tackling pharma. And they said this in their statement where they're like, "Can you guys like be a little nicer to pharma and stop blaming them? They're not to blame. I mean, come on, we got to be a little nicer because if we're not nicer, then they're not going to be able to do R&D." Yeah, fucking criminals. Ugh. Yeah, she's seeking to contrast Trump's agenda, which, come on. Like, dude, they really do treat us like we're fucking children. And the funniest part is this is coming from a financial news institution like Bloomberg. So, yeah, your average American isn't seeking out Bloomberg News and going, "Hey, I wonder what the markets are doing." Yeah. This is the opposite of what Donald Trump would do as president. While proposing more tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations, his plan would increase costs on family by nearly $4,000 a year, $4,000 a year, by slapping a Trump tax, the tariff tax, on goods families rely on like gas, food, and clothing. So this idea that we don't import fuel is a fallacy. We actually export more than we import, yes, but importing fuel is still something that we do. And because of that, slapping a tariff on it, which is stupid when you think about it, because then like this would only be fixed if you just say, well, then we can only use our oil. And then the oil companies go, well, we kind of have a lot of it and we kind of need to sell it. Because here's the secret. Did you know that America is producing more oil than Saudi Arabia and has been since I think it was the start of 2018, which, get this, George Bush started that piece of legislation, and then Obama doubled down on it, and then his second term quadrupled down on it. So that whole idea that, Democrats are bad for fracking, blah, 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 yeah, doesn't really, actually track. So the Trump tax on goods is a real thing. Like, if he starts putting just arbitrary tariffs out there, like, just do me a favor if you are watching this. Just look at any piece of any goods you have. And if it says made in USA, fine, cool. Like, oops, I guess my experiment failed. But if it says made in China or anywhere else, imagine that was, had a tariff slapped on it. And then think of the price of it already. And then think of how that would increase the price, because it doesn't just go to the corporations in that country. It's trickled down onto us from that corporation. So, corporation gets charged, corporation charges more. So that's just how it goes. And this, again, great in theory if we made everything, but we don't. We don't. Because these corporations decided that, they want to turn it's more important to turn a profit than to actually boost, the economic situation of the USA. So, and the people that live within it, think of why all the manufacturing jobs just disappeared. And now that they're reappearing, they're already saying like, well, we're spending too much money here. We gotta start reassessing what we're going to do. Like the cat plant here. Dude, like they got ordered essentially to start paying fair wages to their union workers, and their answer to it was, "We're moving our factory," and then they blamed Chicago taxes, even though that wasn't a fucking problem before. Yeah, okay, yeah, because how they're going bankrupt. Chicago taxes. It's insane. All right, well, let's continue. Biden also hailed the move as marking an important moment in the fight against inflation. Inflation and interest rates are falling while the economy remains strong. It's true. Stock market's up, economy's strong, jobs report even came out, and they were like, the jobs slowed, but we haven't lost any. So it's kind of like, so we build the best economy and the most jobs, but then people are going to start criticizing when, there's a freeze on hiring and the Fed lowers interest rates, because that's something that they've been complaining about this entire year. The average American has been complaining about inflation and the economy all year. We're talking at the very beginning of all of this. And somehow they're still blaming the Democrats. Like, when they're trying to do things, and they are actively doing things that have brought the interest rates down, and we still have the most productive economy in the world right now. But yeah, what incentive does the news have to report on that, huh? Like, if everything is, rosy. All right, the Fed's timing. Trump supporters, however, assailed the Fed for acting on interest rates. Ooh, are you guys mad that they did something that might give a little edge to Kamala? Oh, fuck, dude. These idiots where they're just like, I don't want a September, October surprise. Like, they can never handle when they're just losing. They're just like their idol. Donald Trump is the biggest baby, and his supporters are big. They're the biggest babies too. It's all the whiniest kids that you knew in school that when they got told no, they would throw things. They would punch teachers. That's what these people grew up to be. Traditionally. Oh, actually, sorry. With hedge fund. Hedge fund billionaire John Paulson. Let's take what this guy has to say. You know how he's not single-handedly responsible for fucking over so many different industries in America. But yeah, let's listen to this guy. Yeah. Bloomberg. Okay. You know what I hate about Bloomberg so much is how they'll literally be like, this hedge fund guy says this is bad. Go talk to your average Joe. What happened to the Joe the plumbers? And just ask them what this means for them. That type of Trump supporter. Because when I heard Trump supporter, I was kind of like, oh, maybe they actually interviewed a red hat. No, they interviewed a fucking billionaire. A major donor of the Republican presidential nominee and potential future Treasury Secretary. You're telling me that the guy who wants to fuck us over even more is mad that they're not fucking us over, and that I wish the Fed would have stayed out of presidential politics. Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And everybody that thinks like that. Ugh. I have a feeling. Oops. Kind of went off there a little bit. Traditionally, the Fed has not cut rates this close to an election. You know what we also didn't do this close to an election? Supreme Court justices. You remember how that whole thing? Oh, it's kind of weird. The Clippers would eat my face. I love that saying and how it's come out in turned around in 2024 where it's just like, oh my God, it's such a good example. And the only time it did so this century was in the wake of the 2008 financial collapse. Gee, what happened then? Which required dramatic action. We are not in a similar situation today. But you were saying the economy's on the edge of collapse and that the inflation's so high. And what? Cake and eat it too, motherfucker? This decision begs the question if the timing was intended to boost President Harris's campaign. The Fed claims to be above politics, but the timing of today's actions today casts doubt. Okay. Well, I cast doubt on every Republican that's ever said that, well, you can't do this too close to an election. Yeah, just, you know what? Blame Mitch McConnell. He's the one who we can't take you at your word anymore. Why should we? The criticism echoes Trump's old broadside. Why are they only focusing on him? Trump pressure. Oh my God, they didn't do anything for Kamala Harris. That just shows you how biased this is. The former president has accused the Fed of working against him before, criticizing then-chair Janet Yellen in 2016 for keeping the rates low while his White House campaign. He wanted to raise the interest rates and be like, look, the Democrats fucked up again. But Trump has also suggested in recent weeks that the president should have more sway over the Federal Reserve's handling. So you're telling me he's gonna totally complain about how they're doing this, but then be like, I wish I could, if I could do it, then you know what, it'd be much better. Jesus. It's just so, your inconsistencies of thought it's insane to me. the Republicans that support this shit. And then on top of it, it's like when it's just the average dude, they're like, oh, they lowered interest rates instead of looking at it as the good thing that it is and looking into, improving their lives or possibly taking out, whatever loan they've been looking to take out. Nope. They've been convinced by some, billionaire hedge fund asshole that, yeah, this is going to really hurt them because they read Trump supporter. They're like, yep, he's just like me. Ugh. Trump isn't the only elected official pressuring the Fed over interest rate decisions. 3 prominent Democratic senators on Monday had called on Powell to lower interest rates this week by 0.75 of a percentage point. Well, they did a half. So, cool. Representative Brandon Boyle of Tennessee, the top Democrat. Tennessee. Why did I just read Tennessee? That was weird. Pennsylvania. That is nothing like Tennessee. Wow. Yeah, my brain just did something really weird there. It's like I was reading Trump and then just was thinking of Tennessee for some reason. Huh. Did I have a stroke like in that moment? Like, I'm a little worried. Yeah, okay. On Wednesday, called the Fed's decision to lower interest rates a win for the middle class, hailing what he called a significant progress on inflation. Okay, so realistically, this is just good for us. This is good for the average American. This is good for Republican, Democrat. It doesn't matter. If you're a middle class American, this is good for us. So this idea that Donald Trump and his high-end supporters could gaslight you into thinking this is somehow bad for you. And then on top of it, let's just call this for what it is, being like, it's politically motivated, because nothing you do is politically motivated. The tax cuts, any of that shit, that's not politically motivated. You're telling me that you're not playing politics when you're the president of the United States of America? What? Like, that should just automatically disqualify the argument right there, where it's just like, well, I'm a politician playing politics. Oh. Also, for anybody that always conflates the stock market with the economy, well, here's the time. Go check the stock market today. Seriously, go check it right now. Actually, you know what? I'll do something fun for you. Look. You see it? You see what I see? S&P's 500. It's all-time high on soft landing hopes. No way. So you're telling me the economy, even the stock market's doing pretty well on the prospects of the American people having more money to spend? Weird. Oh my God, that's so weird. Go back to what I just said about, yeah, this is because we spend money. This is what happened with, and I go back to the Bush stimulus check. The reason that Bush did a stimulus check, especially at that point, because the economy was tanking before the 2008 collapse. I mean, hey, facts are facts, guys. I think we all got, it was like it was like $300. And yeah, I'll tell you what I did with it. I bought weed. I bought some, and that's when it was illegal still. So, hey, but, supporting the economy, because I'm sure that my dealer or whoever at that point was just like, he put it somewhere. No, actually, you know what sucks? Knowing him, he probably put it in the stock market and then made tons of money on it. So, who's the idiot now? But that's the reason that they did that. It's the same thing that we did with the COVID stuff. Like, we got those COVID checks because we knew that it would go right back into the economy and it would kind of jumpstart everything, which it did. You want to talk about playing politics with everything? Stop looking at everything through the political lens of Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and just look at the objective fucking news in front of you and just go, I may not agree with this person, but this is good for me. Because that's the one thing I can do. I can look at something objectively good that Donald Trump would, like, if he had actually done something that affected my life in a good way. I mean, I think he had like 2 policies specifically where he it was kind of like a continuation of an Obama era policy that he signed off that I even had to give him credit on, where I was just like, yeah, that was good. His decision to even do the first round of COVID aid. You know what? Good. I'll give him that one. You know, see, look, weird how I can do this. Like, weird how I don't have this, the Trump, the TDS or whatever. Again, that's just a way for you to disengage and just be like, I'm right, you're wrong, fuck you. God, you guys are, and you don't see, like, when we call you guys cult members, you do realize that you're acting just like cult members. You're acting like somebody who is getting their religion questioned anytime that we talk about anything that has to do with Trump. And we're talking policy stuff. Like, you know that thing that you're always complaining about, especially during the debate? Oh, I didn't hear anything about policy. Well, here we go. We're talking about fucking policy. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. I mean, because I'll be honest, what I started doing was looking into my financial future and what I plan on doing with this interest rate cut. So I hope you guys do the same. If you guys are looking for a channel that is really good with financial advice, check out Caleb Hammer. He does great work. Honestly, he's helped me in my own personal life just from watching his videos. So check him out. I'll leave him in the description just because, you know, he doesn't even need the help. This dude is very, very successful. So, but guess who needs the help? I do. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000. So you know what? Let's make that push. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.